Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Scott.
Hey, yo. Is that his younger brother? It's gonna be
Jeff.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
And you're listening to
all of the great action figures from our good friends at Hasbro.
The Fullyposeable.
Have your own WrestleMania with all your favorite figures.
Wrestling Figure
Each sold separately from LJN.
Podcast.
And we are the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling.
Hey, welcome to episode 507 of the Fullyposeable Wrestling Figure Podcast, longest running episodic wrestling figure podcast going today. My name is Jeff, and sitting alongside next to me is my real life brother, not storyline brother, Scott. Scott, say hello.
Hello.
Scott, what's going on, dude?
Not a whole lot, actually. We're going to go meet a dog on Saturday.
I hope she's cute.
She's adorable. She's the cutest. So I've made it clear on the show that I've always wanted an English Bulldog. Always. I don't know if that comes from feeling bad when Matilda got kidnapped by the Islanders. And I was like, I would love to give one of these cute little dogs a home one day. I don't know if that's where it came from.
Understood.
Yeah, we're going to meet an English Bulldog on Saturday. Her name is Lula. Her name will be changed to Matilda if we end up adopting her. That's a guarantee. We've already discussed it. Yes, Shannon's on board. So I'm like this all happened like right before we started recording. I had turned in an application like 3 weeks to a month ago and I hadn't heard anything. And all of a sudden I got a text like 10 minutes before we came on tonight. And I was like, oh, dude, hold on. Something came up. Like, I need a little bit of time here. So yeah, we're worked out. We're going to go meet the dog on Saturday. So I'm like, hopefully by the time you're hearing this show, I've got a dog in the house because our last dog passed away in February of 24. February and March, I think it was February of 24. So we've been without for a long time. And Shannon's now ready. And it could be an English Bulldog. And her name is going to be Matilda. And I can't wait.
So all of us have pets. And
yes.
I shouldn't say all of us, but a lot of us have pets. So my question to you is, the name's going to be Matilda, but how many times is that name going to change throughout that dog's life? And what will that dog's name be changed to? For example, I have Baroness and Optimus as my two cats, but Baroness is Baranya and Opti is Optimi. So, I mean, I've already kind of changed their names a little bit. So
yeah,
my question to you is, how many times will this dog's name be changed and what I should say?
At least 17 times.
Roughly.
And it's one of those things that changes on the fly. And I don't know what causes it. There's no premeditation when it comes to renaming your animals, but it just happens. And it'll be something like the dog does something and you yell something out and that becomes a new nickname. Yep. And then repeat process at least 17 or 18 more times. So I'm guessing at least that many, but I have no predictions of what that's going to be.
You might just get lazy and call it Matt instead of Matilda. Maddie,
No.
Maddie Collector.
Maybe Maddie. I could see Maddie.
Maddie Collector. By the end of that dog's life, it's going to be called Mattel.
Yeah. Mattel Creations, sit.
Mattel Creations, get that out of your mouth.
But yeah, no, I'm super excited, dude. Going to meet a English Bulldog on Saturday. And like I said, hopefully by the time you guys are hearing this, I am the proud owner, or we are the proud owners of a little English Bulldog that is going to have her name changed to Matilda.
Nice. I do want to thank everybody that reached out regarding the retro gaming thing, because a lot of people reached out and were telling me about these retro games that they buy from TikTok or Amazon, because they sell them on Amazon as well.
Oh, yeah, right.
I want to thank everybody. Justin Summers was basically my thesaurus.
I see.
So he was
your spirit guide, if you will.
He's my spirit animal.
Yes.
Well, he's more yours because of Taco Bell, but anyway.
Right. Yeah. Don't steal my spirit animal, dude. Let him be your spirit guide. He's my spirit animal.
Hey, you've got Eric, my coworker. I get Justin. Come on now.
Okay, good point.
But I want to thank everybody for reaching out. Apparently, quite a few people have these gaming systems. So thank you to everybody for reaching out and kind of steering me. Justin, thank you for steering me in the right direction of which way to go and which one to get.
So are you going to get a Raspberry Pi to where you have to build it yourself, or are you going to get one of those pre-made, preloaded
So from
setups?
what I could tell, most of them you do have to load. There is a website that you go onto and you can load from the website.
Download the ROMs.
Download the ROMs onto your memory card and upload it there, or however it goes. I'll learn it all when I get it. But
okay.
But anyways, yeah. So I'm excited to get this. There is one that I saw that I'm kind of eyeballing. Not only is it just a handheld, a retro gaming handheld, but it also has the connection to the TV.
Yeah.
And it comes with 2 Sony PlayStation controllers.
Perfect. So, that's what you want, dude.
But I need to do a little research on that just to see if people like it, if it's not good. Basically do a Reddit deep dive on this thing.
Perfect. That's what you want, is you want something that's kind of that dual purpose where you can use it as a handheld, but then you can hook it up to the TV. Interestingly enough, I think it was like 14 years ago, Neo Geo re-released its system. And they did kind of the same thing. And what they did was they gave you a handheld, almost like a PSP. Mm-hmm. And then they gave you their system shell, which had kind of a pop-up top. Mm-hmm. And so you could play the game as a handheld like a PSP, but when you wanted to play on the system, you could put the handheld into the shell, close the lid, fire it up, and you had a TV console.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I have one in the garage. And it came with like 2 controllers and a bunch of games preloaded. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did you ever hook it up?
I did. Yeah. And I didn't really play it that much.
Oh, why didn't you play it?
Practically brand new.
Why didn't you play it that much?
I don't know. It was probably one of the WWE 2K games or an old MLB game came out and I ended up playing that instead. And the Neo Geo just kind of started collecting dust.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking video games on this show, as well as we will be discussing in our nostalgia segment another NES video game. And Scott, we got to figure out what we're going to do next week. Which way are we going to go? Are we going to go arcade? Or are we going to continue with NES?
We don't know yet.
We don't know. So, but we also have got some news regarding some figures that are going to be just got shown. And yeah, we got a jam-packed show. You guys know where to find us. You guys know where to listen to us. You guys know where to follow us. All that stuff. Fullyposeable podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio. And you can send us any audio questions, or anything else at all. Send it on over to fullyposeablewfp@gmail.com. Scott, we do have a question from Josh Thompson. Do you want to get into it this week, or do you want to push? Oh, wait, we got Sean Ing next week. Speaking of, we got Sean.
Yes, we do.
All right, let's get into JT's question this week then. Hey, Jeff and Scott, JT here with a question. Not an advertisement, boys. What's a toy line you'd like to see make a comeback or get a revival? Number 1, Micro Machines. Yes, boys, I know Jazzwares brought these little things back, and Matchbox and Hot Wheels are the kings of toy cars, but it really kills me how Micro Machines' second run didn't last long. The OG Micro Machines had charm to them, with play sets, little light up cars, trains, and let's not forget their most important feature, stopping bandits from trying to rob your home. That's a Home Alone joke, Scott.
Yes, understood.
Okay. All right.
Well done. Well done.
Okay, I just want to say you're with me. All right. In a perfect world, Kota Ibushi is announcing that Jazzwares has signed an extension with AEW, and Macaulay Culkin is the new spokesperson for Micro Machines. But it is not a perfect world. So Kota Ibushi would be singing the Micro Machines song like you sang to him. Number 2, Tyco, US 1 Trucking. Long story short, guys, a company named Tyco, who was known for releasing HO scale model trains, also released these slot trucks that could pick up and drop off cargo. I kind of remember those.
It kind of rings a bell.
Was it mid to late 90s? I'll have to
Yeah.
I'll have to do a little bit of a check on that one. Maybe not the best thing since sliced bread, but I thought it was pretty cool, especially when Tyco released a set with the trucks and trains. So, Scott, what are some that you would like to see come back?
Well, my kind of default go-to answer for this was always Mask, but we've got that back, surprisingly. We've gotten Silverhawks back through Super 7, which is absolutely incredible. One of my first thoughts, pushing those aside, was old racetracks. I don't know if you remember, but Toys R Us back in the day used to have dedicated aisles just to racetracks.
Yeah.
And these boxes, these sets that they came in were so big You literally needed an entire aisle, both sides, to contain these massive boxes that these things came in. And the best part was when they got licensed. There was like A-Team and Dukes of Hazzard and Knight Rider and Batman and all sorts of these cool properties that I think like today, I don't know if they'd play, but for the adult to go back and get like one of those wall crawler sets where it like went up the wall and like it had a bunch of loops and jumps, and those were just so much fun to play with, dude. Like I still have fond memories of just sitting in the front room and set up, because you had gotten one of those wall crawler sets. And you and I sat there for days playing this thing, and you had to learn how to feather it around the corners. And so it was good times playing with those. You had the Dukes of Hazzard set too. Just with some of the properties I think that are available, it would be really, really cool to get those back. But again, I just don't know if they would play at today's market. And I know we literally just had a conversation with Big Dave about starting lineups. And we all know the failed launch of the basketball. And I think that there were plans for football to follow it. That's not going to happen. It seems like McFarland kind of has the market cornered. But I don't know if SLUs would play in today's market either.
No, they probably wouldn't. And it's just one of those things that those might have to be left in the past, because a lot of people only want the 6-inch. You know where the market is. But the thing is that it's not one of those things that seems to hold up. Like, all of us old heads do have the nostalgia button for them. But when we were talking to Dave about him, and you have to do X amount, and you may have to pull a Super 7 and charge $20 for these figures, that may turn off a lot of people.
Well, yeah. What are you going to charge for a 4-inch plastic figure that has limited articulation?
Right.
You know, I mean, now you're talking Super 7 3 3/4 inch at $20 a pop.
Yep.
So it's, you know, back in the day, these things were like $5 to $6 tops. $4.99, $3.99, something like that.
Yep.
You can't have those price points today. And really, at the end of the day, it's a limited articulation piece of plastic that kind of resembles a ball player. And it comes with a card. And, you know, that would at least be $20 today. And I just don't see people wanting to pony up that cash when there's so much other cool stuff out there to collect that they're going to do these. I don't know, man. As much as I would love to say starting lineups, because again, as you said, us old heads, we have a lot of fondness, a real soft spot in our hearts for those starting lineups. I just don't think that they make sense in 2025.
If you can do starting lineups today and we're able to price them somehow relatively low, like $9, I think that a lot of us old heads would jump in on it.
Then if that was the price point, then yes.
There's no way you can price it low. There's just no way. I mean, yeah, you would be walking down a Walmart aisle and you'd be like, oh yeah, these are cool. But what's going to really happen is due to 2025 pricing, they're going to probably be up near $20. And
they
like
would have to be.
Like Scott said, they're 4-inch scale with a little articulation. It ain't going to work.
I really don't think so, dude. I really don't. As much as I want it to, I don't think it plays in today's market. I really don't. And that sucks, because I love those things. And the sports card market is super hot, but I don't think that translates to figures.
Okay. So I'm looking up this US1 trucking, and this thing's actually pretty cool, dude. It is a track that's like very slot car-ish. It's basically almost like a track going around a town, but they're all trucks. I'm actually on Reddit right now, and somebody posted a video, and it's actually pretty sweet. So JT, thank you for showing me this. Now I'm kind of interested in this, but it is a slot car, but it's trucks, like, you know, semis, you know, vroom, vroom, you know, honk the horn, you know, that type of thing. Like
Okay.
Like the Rock, you know, he's all, you know, remember when the Rock did that?
Yes, I do remember that.
Okay. But it's like that. So it's pretty cool. So I would recommend everybody Googling and going onto Reddit, Tyco US1 trucking. So it's pretty cool.
And, you know, it's kind of funny, too. This is a good question to get, but it really begs the question, what haven't we gotten back yet? This year alone, we got back Mask and LJNs.
We've had Remco's back. We've had He-Man style figures back. By the way, speaking of slot cars, dude, did you know they make a Mario Kart rainbow track that's like pretty tall and it drops down and stuff like that?
I think I have seen that. Yeah. But it's not slot car, right? It's like Hot Wheel style.
Yeah, it's Hot Wheel style where you put it on the track and then it kind of goes around south. Dude,
Yes.
that's hella cool. But it was like $140 if I'm not mistaken.
You see what I'm saying? The price points today to bring that stuff back, like you've got a limited market. Right? You've got a limited fan base that's going to invest that kind of cash into it. And that's exactly why I don't think starting lineups would play today. And it sucks. It sucks. But we've gotten so much back, you know, so it's become less of, man, I wish that they'd bring that toy line back today to, I don't know what's left. Like they've really kind of drained the well on what's left to bring back from the 80s that we don't have. I mean, you go down the toy aisle now, granted, you're not going to have masks because that's an online only item, but you can get anything pretty much from the 80s on, you know, a given site like Super 7, BBTS, go to either Entertainment Earth, go to any of those. You're going to find a crap ton of the 80s stuff. He-Man, Turtles, even in the toy aisle today. Turtles, G.I. Joe, Batman. It's all the same stuff from when we were growing up.
You know what we haven't gotten? Monchichis.
Well, is that your pick, Jeff? Do you want Monchichis to come back?
No, I just want everybody to have the song stuck in their head.
Monchichis, Monchichis.
You're welcome. No,
That should be our outro song this week.
No, I'm not sure what I would have come back. I mean, as you just said, you kind of said it best. We've already had everything come back that we've wanted to come back.
Yes, 100%. We've even gotten the original Turtles set. The original little 4-inch scale Turtles in a box set. Shredder, the Turtles, I think Splinter's in there. Like, dude, that's an exact repro from 88. And we got that. So, I mean, what's left on the table? There's really not much.
Care Bears.
Care Bears are back.
Care Bears are back. That's what I was going to say. There's just so much that's back that it's hard to say, this or that, because this and that is already back.
And Kit, that Kit model,
God.
the
Why'd you send me that?
Kickstarter or whatever. Well, because it's Kit.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And it's $400 if you back it.
Yeah.
Good God, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For $1,000, Michael Knight should be calling you personally.
You have a cheeseburger with David Hasselhoff.
Oh, it's such a mess.
Okay, that would totally be. I would be down with that. I'd be like, dude, go halvesies with me so I can have a cheeseburger with Hasselhoff.
Oh shit! You're doing shots. I got to catch up. Speaking of Target, last night also saw the Megatron and Skeletor mashup.
Oh, very cool.
Dude, it took everything not to buy that.
Well, I mean, you do have the Soundwave Lego to buy, so you should be saving your money.
Did I ever tell you the story about the Soundwave Lego?
I don't remember.
So Eric, my coworker, got my boss, Sean, the Soundwave Lego. And Sean was like, dude, I cannot accept this because I have no room for it.
Oh.
So he actually turned away a Soundwave Lego set. And Eric, that jerk, ended up keeping it for himself instead of giving it to me, his boss. I am pissed about this.
Oh, dude.
However, Eric put it together. Thing is amazing, man. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Well, it begs the question now because there's a couple of Soundwaves that have come out outside of the Lego over the last month or two, and they come with the cassette tapes, the transforming cassette tapes. Was it Laserbeak? I can't remember the other ones.
Laserbeak.
But dude, which one would you rather have? Because I think there's like 3 of them and they're different price points. Right, there's the Lego, there's like $175 Soundwave with cassette, and then there's like a $75 or $60 one, something like that. It comes down to which one you would want in the collection.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, I can't do Transformers. That's why I had to avoid Megatron as Skeletor or Skeletor as Megatron. I had to bounce out of that aisle, dude.
Get me away from this. It's like trying to run away from the Ben Cooper kids.
Dude, I saw those last night. Batman, Joker.
How good are they?
I've seen the monsters and I've seen the Batman.
Right.
Dude, seeing that Joker, those are so good, man.
Aren't they great? And it's literally like walking through your neighborhood as a kid and seeing that. It's a perfect representation of what you would see in your neighborhood trick-or-treating as a little kid. And it brings back so many good memories. Again, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, but when they're literally making you in a costume, how can you say no to that?
And they have Kiss coming up.
And they showed the in-package Kiss figures, the Ben Coopers. I am so happy I have a full set of those coming my way. They are so great. And then, of course, today they showed from New York Comic Con, they're doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ben Cooper kids in the costumes. And they're doing all 4 Turtles, Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady. And they are as cool as they sound.
Are you getting those?
No, I'm passing on Turtles. I don't have a super strong attachment to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like a lot of people do, just because it was kind of towards the end of my, I'm still playing with toys phase. Because when those original Playmates Turtles came out, I was like 14. So I bought them, but I displayed them. They weren't really like playtime. But I swear, if I was maybe 5 years younger, 6 years younger, I would have had all of the play sets, because you know how Mom was with us. I would have had all the play sets, all of the figures, and I'd be 100% in on everything Turtles today. Guaranteed. As passionate as I am about or used to be about G.I. Joe, but am today about wrestling figures, is as passionate as I would be about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because they released so much cool stuff when those figures were coming out originally.
And I think the Turtles hit at a time where you were in a different, kind of like a different age range. Like you were kind of out of that realm of cartoons and stuff like that. If that
but
makes
they were
sense.
still cool.
They were still
because
cool.
Yeah, they were still cool because they had that comic book, because the comic book was like gritty and bloody. And then they had these toys that came out. They were exact opposite. They were very cartoony. And I was like, okay, I can still buy these and display them on my headboard, because I had one of those shelf headboard things where I could have stuff up there. And so I put the Turtles up there with all the weapons and everything. And it was still cool because the Turtles comics were cool. But I got out of Turtles real quick. I still watch the movies today. I make it a point to watch both. Only 1 and 2, though. I don't get into 3. I watch 1 and 2 at least once a year. I still celebrate the Turtles. I've got the NECA Turtles set that came out back in 2020 of the movie Turtles. So got a lot of love for those, but I'm not as passionate about Turtles as a lot of people are, but I 100% get the passion. Much like with Ghostbusters, I 100% get that passion.
All right. JT, thank you for your question, man. We appreciate it. We're burning through your questions. You got to come up with another one.
Well, that really took us off on a tangent. I feel like Will Ferrell from Old School. I'm like, where did that come from?
Where did that come from? Scott, have you picked up anything?
Did I buy? No, I did not. I was hoping Amazon was going to have a deal on that Warrior and Hockey. Because I've literally had that $75 gift card sitting in my pocket, burning a hole.
Just do it. If you didn't get anything on Prime Days this past week, just pull the trigger. Unless you want to hold off until Christmas, see if anything drops.
Maybe. And only because that Warrior Shango set's down to $50. You told me not to look at the Taker Gobbledygooker set. It's I see these 2-packs constantly get dropped in price, even on Mattel Creations with the Coliseum collection. And I'm like, okay, I drop 80 on it now. Guaranteed in a week, it's going to be $65. Yep. And then I'm going to kick myself in the ass because I could have gotten that and then another figure. You know what I mean? And I don't want to deal with that. So I think I'm really going to play the long game with this set.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Speaking of Taker and Gobbledygooker, I did pick up another set for $29.99. I couldn't pass that up.
Oh God, it's $29.99.
Oh, you didn't look, did you?
You told me not to look, dude. I didn't need to hear that.
Crap. Yeah, it was $29.99. Don't worry.
Oh my gosh.
You can still get the egg on RSC. So
for $5.
For $5. So you're all good, dude. You're all good. You still save.
Oh man, they're running a sale right now. By the way, got to check that out.
RSC is.
RSC is, it's a Halloween sale.
The only thing that came in over here was the Will Ospreay Supreme figures. Beautiful figures. Might hit my top 11 this year. I have to see.
Figures? You bought multiple?
Oh, I bought 2. You're laughing over there. Why are you laughing?
I'm wondering what the purpose of buying 2 was.
Scott, there was no purpose.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They were there.
Okay. Well, buying 2 eats up your Soundwave money. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. Anyways.
Now, if you were going to get one signed and then open one, I would completely be like, yes, dude, that's the move.
The goal is to get one signed.
Okay. Well, there you go. And then you do with the other one what?
I haven't thought that far in advance.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just a here in the moment now. Let's just party it up right now and then figure shit out later, dude.
Look at you living by the seat of your pants.
I am, dude. Whatever.
Oh, you're wild, Jeff Toon.
Oh, I'm crazy.
I smoke rocks, Joe Rogan.
All right, let's get into pre-orders. Big Rubber Guys for the month of October. Big Rubber Guys is Hercules and a suited Andre that is reminiscent from the Piper's Pit, where Andre stole the cross, or ripped the cross, I should say, off Hogan's chest. That is the pre-orders for the Big Rubber Guys.
Can I just segue real quick?
Sure.
Is that the biggest WrestleMania ever, in your opinion? WrestleMania 3?
What are you talking about, biggest?
In terms of build, magnitude, what it did for the business, is it your opinion that that's the biggest WrestleMania? I don't know about match, maybe main event, the biggest of all time. I guess that's what I'm driving at. Is it the biggest main event that WrestleMania has had in its 40 plus years?
Nothing is coming to mind.
I mean, because you've lived through all of them.
Cody,
You've been to like almost half. So
Cody at 40, taking Roman's title, that was a long run for Roman, and then Cody comes in and takes the belt off him. That's pretty big.
Well, okay, but build, match, finish.
If you want to talk about build, you got Rock and Cena that was built for one calendar year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hogan and Andre was technically, there is footage out there of Andre. I think it was in Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
It looked like MSG.
Oh, was it MSG where he came down?
It looked like MSG. Mm-hmm.
And the little sprinklings of the heel turn started right there, where it was a MSG house show or wherever they were. Andre had the belt and Hogan was posing to the crowd, and he turns around and he sees Andre in Hogan fashion, starts looking at the crowd very hyperactively, I guess you could say.
Who's this guy trying to steal my thunder, brother?
I've never seen this guy before. Who is he?
Who is this nasty giant?
And so Andre kind of just holds the belt, looks at Hogan, looks at the belt, looks at Hogan, looks at the belt, and hands it back to him and walks off. So
he kind of like throws it at him too. He doesn't like hand it nicely. He kind of.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a 3-4 month build, I guess you could say.
Yes.
But Cena Rock was 1 year. You already knew what the main event was in Miami that year.
Do you think Hogan and Andre had the benefit of people not really knowing their history, because a lot of kids were watching at that time and not a lot of people knew that Hogan and Andre had previously feuded and Hogan had slammed Andre? They kind of had this like history that a lot of the casuals that were buying into wrestling in 87 didn't know that it had happened just like 5 years previous.
Correct. That is true.
Do you think that there was a lot of advantage in building that up, not having people know that previously?
Oh, yeah. The internet wasn't around at that time.
And there wasn't much of a tape library either at that point.
Exactly. You had some dirt sheets that were spreading, but dirt sheets weren't a big thing at that time.
Well, I mean, they were to us.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, dude. We were buying like 7 wrestling magazines a month.
We were, dude. We had to see what the rankings were for tag teams in the NWA and the WCCW. And
oh, yeah. Like, who's this Carlos Colon guy?
Yeah.
Like, he got a Remco. I need to know more about him. I'm going to read about him. Like, we couldn't get enough, dude. We became like, I'm not going to say like students of the game, but we really kind of became like, we were reading more for wrestling than we were for our schoolwork.
Oh, 1,000% we were. Dude, when we would go up to the Delta with mom and dad, it was 2 or 3 wrestling magazines every single time we went to that bait shop.
Exactly. Yes. And that would be our weekend reading material.
Exactly. They would have 5 wrestling magazines, the WWF magazine. They would have Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and then 3 others like Pro Wrestling Insider, Pro Wrestling Eye, and then maybe one other. Mm-hmm. And Scott and I are basically like, oh, we've got PWI and WWF already, grabbing the other 3. And that was our reading material up at the Delta.
We'd get those magazines and we just trade them back and forth.
Exactly. So, to answer your question, it might be the biggest build. You could say Savage Hogan, because that was also a year in the making.
Okay, WrestleMania 5.
WrestleMania 5. So,
Well, let's not forget 6 either. That was the two biggest names in the company going head to head
yep.
that had a good 3-month build.
Has there been anything recently that outside of Rhodes and Reigns, has there been anything that takes that spot?
In my mind, no. And I might go to my grave thinking that, dude. But I mean, I don't know if that's a biased. And I mean, go back and watch the match. I mean, it wasn't anything, that you're going to want to watch repeatedly because it was incredible. But the sheer magnitude of that match, the build, people not knowing their history, like Andre being the biggest face or maybe not the biggest face in the company, that was Hogan, but like a 1-in-1A situation. And plus he's a giant. He was an attraction, 7 foot, whatever, battling the new face of the company and going into it as a kid. That was the biggest thing I had ever seen up to that point, being a wrestling fan for 2 or 3 years. And to this day, my opinion, that's still the biggest match of all time. So seeing these Andre figures, I love it, dude. It takes me back to those moments building up to that feud, that moment specifically on Piper's Pit, which, by the way, Piper really put the cherry on top of that segment at the end. And I don't think that was planned at all, because they didn't know Andre was going to get color on Hogan's chest when he ripped off the cross.
Yep.
And when Hogan kneels down to pick up the broken chain,
yep,
Piper looks at him and he touches his chest and he goes, "Hulk, you're bleeding, man." And that was such the cherry on top. You're like, he hurt Hulk. He made him bleed his own blood. Like, Hogan's going to get him for this. And it was that moment as a kid. Oh my gosh. And you went into WrestleMania 3 literally having no idea who was going to win that. You knew Hogan was big and strong, but he was facing a giant, and it was like a David and Goliath situation. And to this day, again, maybe it's just getting older and not having that innocent eyes viewing the angles or whatever. I don't know. But that, to me, is the biggest build and payoff in wrestling history.
Okay. Pre-orders are up on Big Bad Toy Store for Boss Fight Studio. Dragon Lee, Roosh, and Dralistico are still up there. Also, check out zombie figures as well that are up on Big Bad Toy Store. Speaking of zombie, as of recording today, this is recorded on October 9th, there are 125 retros remaining on zombiesailor.com. This is the Macho Man from WrestleMania 7. As of today, 125 remain, $39.99 over at zombiesailor.com. Latuni Wrestling Toon Stars Macho, 2 different flares, $39.99 over there. These Toon Stars are very cartoonish, and go check these out over at latuni.com. Also, check out shop.figurecollections for a variety of retros over there. And speaking of retros, KWK, check out KWK brand on Instagram, where you can pre-order this month Flash Funk. 2 different variations of Flash Funk. Get your pre-orders in for Flash Funk. And speaking of Sean, we're going to have him on next week.
Yeah, to discuss something that's coming up in the news here.
Well, let's get into the news, since Scott just spoiled it. Way to go.
Oh, I spoiled we were going to talk about news? Such an ass.
Okay. So this past week on Tuesday, Pro Wrestling Tees showed off their articulated G.I. Joe style wrestling figures. These are called Wrestling Heroes. Each figure will be limited to 1,000. The figures in this series is Ric Flair in pink trunks, Macho Man in the orange, Jake Roberts, and Danhausen. These are G.I. Joe style figures, or O-rings. So you can check out each wrestler's O-ring.
And it's funny that you say that way, Jeff, because I was reading some comments under these posts on social media, and it turns out that some people don't know what the O-ring is.
So that's probably a lot of people that are newer to, I shouldn't say newer, or like a younger generation. We grew up with this, so we obviously knew what this was.
Yeah, so basically it's the rubber band inside the figure that holds all of the pieces together.
Correct.
Well, I mean, except for the arms. But these are, think like your G.I. Joe swivel battle grip figures from way back in the day. That's what these are, 3 3/4 inch figures. and they are connected basically in the middle, like at the hip inside the figure with this little rubber band, and they're affectionately called O-rings.
Yep.
Well, us perverts know O-ring as something else entirely. See Austin Powers 2, where the dude's in the bathroom and
Tom
Arnold's like, yeah, hey, careful, buddy, you're gonna blow out an O-ring. Meaning you push too hard.
Yeah. But anyways,
and blow out your B piece.
These wrestling hero figures, I can't remember if they're going to be available or up for pre-order in December, but they're on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yes, they are only on Pro Wrestling Tees, as Jeff said, limited to 1,000. And it was just funny when this broke, because we had someone else immediately post that they also were doing the same exact style figures, 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe style, or O-ring, as us old heads call them, O-ring style figures.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was Sean Ing. Sean Ing posted his O-ring styled figures that he had been working on for a while. And the first few names in his first offering of the O-ring style figures will be Berserker, Jake Roberts also, and Bruiser Brody. Sean had been working on some things behind the scenes recently, and it was these O-ring figures. And it just so happened that I guess Pro Wrestling Tees was also working on this.
Yeah, I think it was only a matter of time. There's a lot of affection and nostalgia, a lot of soft spots for those old O-ring figures. People really like it. Super 7 has actually brought back some of the G.I. Joe figures from back in the day, and they've made them O-ring style. So it is definitely starting to come into view a little bit more in the collector community. People are getting more familiar with them. I think it's great that they're going to do, because LJN had kind of talked about doing something like this way back when. In fact, you have the Hogan, Jeff, the Hogan prototype that they were looking at doing, a little bit larger scale, but kind of the same concept, like a G.I. Joe inspired. So I really dig the look. The cool thing about KWK with Sean is that he has promised us a ring or rings and accessories. So you have to guess that Jake's going to come with his snake, because the ones from Pro Wrestling Tees do not come with accessories. It is literally just the figure. I don't know if I care for that, because if you remember G.I. Joes back in the day, they were known for coming with a lot of accessories, backpacks, weapons, what have you. So Sean's figures are going to come with accessories, which is more kind of like true to the actual product from back in the day. If you're trying to do a real love letter, Sean sounds like it's going to be pretty true to that. And I mean, a ring, dude, that's great news. That is great news. So he's branching out. It's not just retros anymore. And I'm excited to see what his packaging looks like. I like the look of the Pro Wrestling Tees packaging. I'm excited to see what Sean's going to bring to the table with it.
So Scott is excited to see Sean's package. Beautiful. Now,
yes, how are we going to package his O-ring?
No, I think this is going to be the closest we ever get to Build and Brawls.
Oh, good point.
So Build and Brawls, and we've talked about it on the show in past, Build and Brawls were fun, little, smaller scale figures that were G.I. Joe-esque.
Very close to G.I. Joe's. You're right.
And so actually, if you go on, and of course, when Scott and I were doing this nostalgia segment, the Sergeant Slaughter was up there in price. I want to say it was up in about the $90s to $100.
Yes.
But Sergeant Slaughter was actually highly sought after, because a lot of the G.I. Joe heads were going after this Sergeant Slaughter Build and Brawl figure.
Because he was cheaper than trying to complete the old Slaughters that had come out, or even the ones that came out in the 50th or 25th anniversary, whatever it was, because even those are a lot of money. Yep.
Thank you very much. So I think this is going to be the closest that we ever get to the Build and Brawls. I'm excited to see these. I saw the Pro Wrestling Tees. I wish theirs did come with accessories. Now, granted, the only accessory that would make sense out of these guys is maybe Macho's bandana. And as Kanik has told us, you can't put certain logos on the bandana, but at least Macho would have a bandana.
Macho's robe, Flair's robe, Jake's snake. I don't really know Danhausen, like what his...
He's got a cape.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, that's easy accessories to throw on them, and they would be soft goods.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wish. We'll see what Sean does, and Sean's already said that he is going to be putting accessories with his. So You kind of figure Berserker's going to come with the sword and helmet, and Bruiser Brody with a chain and fur vest. Just kind of guessing. We'll talk to Sean next week. And then obviously Jake with the snake. So I'm excited to see what each company does. I'm looking forward to seeing what Sean figures look like. He just announced the names. He didn't actually show off any figures. Pro Wrestling Tees did show their figures this past week on card.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing with being first to market, right? Is now you've kind of set the bar. So everybody else sees what the mark is. Like, okay, that's what I'm going for, and I have to make it better. And I think just by Sean including accessories already kind of takes it up a notch. I'm not really sure what the price point is on these with Pro Wrestling Tees or Sean's, but Sean's are called O-Ring Heroes. Which
God damn it.
People with perverted minds, I mean, not us, Jeff, because, we're clean as whistles. We don't think like that. But, people make their comments, whatever. They don't know what O-rings are, and so they just make comments because they know what O-rings mean today.
It was a video behind a beaded curtain, and that was in the little corner of VHS shot, but God damn it. All right, anyways. I'm joking. You guys know I love Sean. So O-Ring Heroes, God damn it. Oh, you saw O-Ring Hero 1? I was waiting for O-Ring Hero 2.
The blast from the past.
Oh, God damn it. All right. So I'm excited to see these because we're getting new scale figures again.
Absolutely. And it's great to see Sean. We've kind of talked to Sean in a few interviews and been like, hey, any other scales on the horizon? Are you looking at doing anything different with your figures, any different formats? And he's always been real coy about it. So I'm wondering how long this was on the back burner. How are they into production at all? Is he looking at any? Because look, congratulations on getting Jake. Mm-hmm. He hadn't announced Jake for any other line yet. So that's amazing. We're getting a Jake from KWK, but it'll be great to talk next week with Sean, kind of get an idea of how long this has been in the works. Did the announcement from Pro Wrestling Tees really force his hand? Did he have any inkling it was going to happen, or was it a complete shock? We'll talk to him about this next week. These are all questions we'll ask him.
So those are new figures coming out. All right, let's move over to retro style figures. Title Run Toys showed off their Nikita Koloff figure. I understand the look that they were going for on the face. It didn't hit me in the feels, though.
It missed.
This is one of those that I'm going to have a dilemma. And it's because, one, Nikita Koloff figures, I always get. It's just like Dynamite Kid. I always get Dynamite Kid figures. Nikita Koloff's the same way. And I guess I should say I only have one Nikita Koloff figure, and it's autographed over my right shoulder.
Well, it helps that they haven't made a ton of them either.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, they made two technically because they did the Jax Classic with not the Bolsheviks. I'm sorry.
With Ivan.
Ivan, thank you very much. When this actually goes to pre-order or is available to buy or whatnot, this is going to be one of those I have to have come to Jeebus meeting with myself.
Game time decision.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking more and more about it. I don't like the face on it. But at the same time, it's Nikita Koloff, dude. And Nikita Koloff is one of those that doesn't have many figures. And it's one of those, again, I clamor for more Nikita figures.
You could get it signed.
I could get it signed. So I don't know. This is going to be one of those, when that pre-order drops, I'm going to be sitting there debating. So we'll see. Okay.
Got it. Yeah. Much like you, Jeff, I see what they were going for. They were going for the Russian sickle and him running in with his tongue out, like a classic Nikita pose. He did so many shots like that back in the day for posters and pinups and magazines, and you knew what they were going for, but the arms at a weird angle, that there's something about the face that it was like, yes, I see what you guys were going for, and you almost got it, but it's just a little off. Yep. And given price point, and it's not perfect, I can see where you're going to have a little bit of a dilemma.
And it is cool how he's in the black singlet. We've only got Nikita and red singlets from Jack's Classics.
Yes.
So I do like that. And that's another selling point for me. So again, when that pre-order drops, it will be one of those game time decisions. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. And is WrestleCon going to announce him for a signing?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if I'm even going to Vegas, dude.
You're going to Vegas.
We'll see. Santa Clara Super Bowl, dude.
Good point. Good point.
Matt Maniacs. They showed off a 2-pack this past week, and it's Sergeant Slaughter, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the American themed.
Pretty cool. I like the look of it. It's Slaughter in his blue tights with white tank top, which we haven't gotten a lot of that look. So I dig it. Cool 2-pack. Great idea. The pairing makes sense completely. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. If you're into the Map Maniacs, you're going to love this set.
Very cartoonish, typical Map Maniac style.
Yes, exactly.
And we spoke about this gentleman earlier, but Zombie Sailor, he showed off his Road Warriors retro style figures. They will be in the black shoulder pads, very NWA-esque. Animal will have the green face paint, Hawk with the black and I think the blue stripe along the nose.
Yeah, pretty much think the cover of the NES game we're going to be talking about in the nostalgia segment. That's the look of this Road Warriors.
How appropriate that he dropped this on the week that we're talking about the NES WCW game.
Yeah, you could almost recreate that cover with his figures.
I should stop yelling because Ryan Buds is trying to go to sleep.
Oh, right. We got to lower our voices real quick. This one's for Ryan.
Lullaby and good night. Ryan Buds, Ryan Buds. Budsy, Budsy, Budsy. Oh, my darling.
Now go into your breaking news segment song. That should do it.
All right. Anyways. Okay. So that's Zombie Sailor. Those figures will be available on Black Friday.
Yes. They're on Black Friday. And I'm like, crap. I'm trying not to buy more retro figures. And then he comes in with the Road Warriors, which everybody knows my weakness.
Yep. Road Warriors are your weakness there, buddy.
Yep. Road Warriors and Taco Bell gets me every time.
All right. It's time to get into that nostalgia segment. And it's time for that WCW NES game. I know Scott was excited to talk about this game. So what was that, Scott?
So we kind of trashed all over WrestleMania last week.
What?
And that was a huge letdown, that game.
Yeah. I mean, it was trash. I can't believe somebody spent $50 on that game on eBay or whatever it was.
Unreal. Unreal. It had to be because of the cover. That's the only thing I could think. Trash. So, coming off of the letdown that was that, and then getting this, it was like night and day. And as much as I enjoyed playing pro wrestling and on rare occasions tag team wrestling, this was my go-to game on the Nintendo when I wanted wrestling. It was this game. And you and I were already NWA/WCW fans. We just talked about the Road Warriors. They are my favorite tag team in wrestling all time. They slapped them on the box cover. They slapped them on the game art, the sticker on the cartridge. So they had me hook, line, and sinker from box art to gameplay. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I got it at KB Toys in Bayfair Mall. I was going into the summer between 9th and 10th grade. And dude, I was so happy. I remember going on a field trip and I had only gotten to play it a little bit before going on the field trip, like for a day or two. And some other friends in my class had gotten the game as well. And we were already talking about the final boss. Like, okay, how are you going to beat him? And I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going to get my Max Turbo controller and I'm just going to kick the hell out of him. Well, it turns out that's the way you beat him. Mm-hmm. Is you get a Max Turbo controller and you just kick the crap out of him. Literally, just keep kicking him. That's how you beat the grand boss. And we'll get to the grand boss and who he actually was hiding under a mask. But I loved everything about this game and the fact that the Road Warriors and Sting were in it. Because Sting, I mean, Ultimate Warrior in WWF, Sting in WCW. Like in terms of singles wrestlers, those were my guys. I loved Warrior and I loved Sting. And so Sting was in this game too. Oh my gosh. Like this, just a dream game for me. And the gameplay compared to WrestleMania, so much more fun, so much better. So yeah, that's why I was excited to talk about this game.
Well, let's get into it. Little fun facts about the game. On the load screen, you hear someone introduce the game, World Championship Wrestling. That was terrible. That was a horrible imitation of that.
Can I take a shot at it?
Go for it.
World Championship Wrestling.
Dude, yours is much better. I like the way you did.
So, do you remember when we used to go to PWG or we would watch their DVDs and somebody would do something in the match and that dude in the front row every single time would go, wrestling. That's where it came from. As far as I know, that came from the WCW game because as soon as I heard it, I go, that's that sound effect.
Well, fun fact, the voice was done by Paul Heyman.
Real interesting to find that out. I never knew that until like today when I watched that video that you had sent me. I never knew that was Paul Heyman.
Yep. By the way, I do want to thank Generation Gap Gaming YouTube show. As Scott and I said when we first started this, we're not video game detail. You know, we don't know the ins and outs of all the video games and stuff like this.
Yeah, we're not experts. We're not historians. We just played them as kids.
Exactly. So, but Generation Gap Gaming has a episode about WCW. So this is where I got a lot of the notes from. WCW wasn't actually the first attempt at a new game for Turner Broadcasting. In 2019, an unreleased prototype from 1988 for UWC, Universal Wrestling Corporation, was found by a YouTuber named Stephen Reese, which features stars from WCW.
Oh, interesting. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah. WCW was basically what they call a reskin of a game on Famicom called Superstar Pro Wrestling.
Famicom was the Japanese Nintendo.
Very good.
Yep. Which now that I know that this game exists, I wish we had it as kids because I would have played the hell out of that too.
The wrestlers that were in there were Antonio Inoki, Bruiser Brody, Abdullah the Butcher. Those were some names that were in there. Road Warriors were both in Superstar Pro Wrestling and in this WCW game. So they were the only ones to reappear.
If I had known that was a game back then, I would have begged mom and dad for a Famicom. Yep. I would have begged them. If I had known I could have been playing as the Road Warriors in a video game in 1988, oh my gosh.
Oh, you would have lost your shit, dude.
Oh, there's no doubt. I would have been like, how much is one and how many lawns do I have to mow? How many papers do I have to deliver to go get one of these? Because I need to play as the Road Warrior. That's how dedicated I was to just everything Road Warriors or wrestling, if you really want to break it down.
Road Warrior Hawk on the new game was based off Stan Hansen from Superstar Pro Wrestling on the Famicom. So what they did is each wrestler was kind of based off of the Famicom wrestlers. So
that's the reskin portion, basically where they they make Hawk, but he is Stan Hansen from the Famicom version.
Very good.
They reskin Stan Hansen as Hawk. And so he has all the same moves. So in the game, Hawk has a lariat as his finisher.
Yep.
Well, that's Stan Hansen.
Stan Hansen. Yep, exactly. Ric Flair's figure 4 finisher isn't in the game. And since he was based off Giant Baba from Famicom, they gave him the jumping neck breaker.
And now I know why. I'm like, wait, Sting has the Scorpion, but Flair does this weird neck breaker? What? Mm-hmm. Now I know.
All right. As Scott mentioned, the cover art is the Road Warriors. Developer, I hope I'm going to butcher this because I butcher a lot of people's names. Developers, Nihon Busan, I think.
That works for me.
Designer is Hiroki Kawamoto, and programmer is Hiromu Yamamoto. Release date was April 1st, 1990. WCW Wrestling, aka World Championship Wrestling, is a Nintendo Entertainment professional wrestling video game that was originally released in Japan in 1989 under the name Superstars Pro Wrestling. With a different lineup of wrestlers, it was later released in North America in 1990 with a familiar lineup of wrestlers. It was the first and to date only video game based on the National Wrestling Alliance. At the time, WCW was a member of the NWA. After the Road Warriors left WCW for the World Wrestling Federation, WCW continued to advertise the game in their own catalogs with a mock-up cartridge showing Sting on the label. Though no such copies of the game with an alternate label are known to exist or believed to have ever been manufactured to date, the game has sold over 100,000 copies. We were one of those.
We were one of them for sure.
Gameplay. Each wrestler in WCW Wrestling has 8 selectable moves, 2 Irish whip moves, and a finisher. Selectable moveset. WCW wrestling differs from most wrestling titles in that the players select their wrestler's moveset prior to the match. Now I'm going to stop it right there. That was actually a lot of fun. You weren't already given somebody's moveset. You actually got to go in at this time, because now you can do that in 2K, 2K25 or whatnot. But at this time, you actually were given a select set of moves that you could go in and filter of which ones you wanted.
Yeah.
That was actually really cool. And that was, I don't want to say it was revolutionary, but it was like, oh, I get to actually choose from this list of moves that I actually want.
Yeah, I have options here, and it's not just punch kick like in WrestleMania.
Exactly. Each wrestler has a menu of 8 moves, with each wrestler featuring a unique moveset from which players choose 4. Each move selected is assigned a direction on the D-pad. Playable wrestlers and final opponent. Playable wrestlers in the game are Ric Flair, Sting, Lex Luger, Mike Rotundo, Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, Dr. Death Steve Williams, Kevin Sullivan, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Rick Steiner, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Michael P.S. Hayes, and the final opponent was WCW Master, secretly Andre the Giant wearing a mask. Andre the Giant is the final boss in Superstars Pro Wrestling for the Famicom.
Aha. And now we know. As kids, we were like, dude, that's Andre. Like, even the mask is a little Super Machine-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Or Giant Machine. Yeah, come on. We were like, that's Andre, dude. He's just too large. And he's wearing a singlet. But he had a mask on, so there was no way to be like, definitively, yes, that's Andre the Giant. But this pretty much confirms it.
Yeah, and basically from this video game YouTube show we were watching, Generation Gap, they basically admitted you want the Max controller, the NES Max controller or whatnot, so you can just do turbo galore.
I laughed when he got to that part. He's like, the best way to beat him is to use the Max controller, and I was like, yes. I was like, that's exactly what I did as a kid. I plugged that thing in and I was like, oh, I'm beating this guy. No problem. And he's right. If you can get him up against the ropes and just start laying your kicks in, you're golden.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one's going to be a little fun. Now, if you guys have this is something that you will be able to use. Password H5YT space 1YQ7 space 0HNZ. N as in Nancy, Z as in zebra. Will start you only 2 matches away from WCW Master, but that's only as Road Warrior Animal.
That's pretty cool.
That is,
just being able to jump in
and you're only 2 matches away from the boss. So yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, you actually had to play through a couple times, I think. Like the first time around, you won some like minor title, and then you had to play through again to get to the WCW Master.
Okay, for finishers, each wrestler has his own finisher. These must be performed in the middle of the ring and can only be accomplished when the opponent had 2 squares remaining on his health meter. The move is performed by pressing A and B simultaneously. Finishers deliver significantly more damage than a regular move and are likely to end the match in a knockout or submission.
Yeah, and again, looking at the roster, this literally had all of my favorites. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, for me, is one of those top 3 guys that I've got 3 favorite wrestlers of all time: Macho Man, HBK, Ricky Steamboat. And I can't pick one over the other. That is just like 1, 1, and 1 for me. That's it. So having Ricky in this game was just incredible. I hadn't had him in a video game before. I couldn't even really pretend that one of the guys in pro wrestling was Ricky Steamboat. So now that I actually had him as a playable character, I absolutely loved it. The Road Warriors, my favorite tag team of all time, was in it. Sting, who, like I said, him and Ultimate Warrior were like my 2 favorites at the time. So being able to play as Sting was awesome. I played this game so much. I mean, if you were to do a chart showing game time on WrestleMania versus pro wrestling versus tag team wrestling versus WCW would be off the page. Like, I played this so much between singles and tag team. I had so much fun with it. I just absolutely loved it. And how great was it we got Eddie Gilbert in a game? We can't get a wrestling figure of this guy, but damn it, we got him in a video game.
So if I'm not mistaken, the gentleman that did the video, I guess he did a little bit of a deep dive. And I guess Jim Ross had a little bit of a say in who got added, because he said there were some questionable wrestlers. Allegedly, Jim Ross. had some say in it, because if you look, Dr. Death is in it.
Right. But Jim Ross wasn't the only person that had some say. It looks like Eddie Gilbert and Kevin Sullivan did as well. Coincidentally, both of them are in the game. But here's the thing. You take those names out. Who do you put in?
Well, they would have probably had to start the game in 89.
Yeah. So I'll give you Muda right off the bat. Muda would have been great to put in this game.
You could have probably slapped Ron Simmons in there.
In 90, wasn't he still in a tag team with Eddie Gilbert around that time? Yeah, that's more 88, huh? So he was starting to kind of go onto a singles run a little bit, but he wouldn't be champion until 92.
No. But I mean, if I'm trying
93,
to think,
whatever it was.
I'm trying to think of big names that would have been in there at around that time. So Muda, you're right. I would say Ron Simmons would be in there.
Okay.
1989 WCW.
But Williams and Rotundo make a lot of sense. So does Sullivan. I mean, they were the varsity squad, right? And they actually had beaten the Road Warriors for the tag titles.
Good point.
I have nothing against those guys being in this game. Michael Hayes was a big name at the time.
Yes.
I think he was U.S. champion. He had beaten Luger.
That one, I don't have any qualms with. Michael Hayes should be in there.
I mean, so really it comes down to, you're going to argue about, really, I guess, just hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. And only name...
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I was going to say Mike Rotunda, but no, you're right.
I don't know, man. Varsity Club was a big deal. They were really pushing them. And again, Jim Hurd was really running the ship at this point. Mm-hmm. You know, that guy from Pizza Hut?
I thought it was Domino's.
Don't get me started. So I don't know. I really don't have a big problem with the roster. Like, I've heard gripes about it in the past from people too. Like, oh, why so-and-so? Well, look at the roster at the time. Honestly, who do you sub in? Rock and Roll Express was already kind of done. I guess you could argue the Midnight Express. Maybe Pillman and Zink. Maybe.
Jim. Oh, wait, no, not Jim Hurd. There was another guy that he put in place that wasn't high on Pillman. Bill Watts, I think it wasn't high on Pillman.
Well, let's look at the Galoobs, the first series of Galoobs.
Okay, so the Steiners.
Okay.
So you have Rick Steiner in there,
now,
Scott.
Yeah, but we have to... Okay, so 89 would have been when they were fleshing out this roster, right?
Right.
Because it came out in 90.
Correct. Because you kind of figure it takes about a year and a half maybe to get this game out.
Yeah, wait, let me double check your date.
It was April 1st, 1990 that it came out for America. Superstars Pro Wrestling, I believe, was 1989.
Okay, so the roster was fleshed out around 89.
I would say around 89, yeah. Because they would have to get them guys into the game, and that takes time, obviously. So you're working on this game about a year out.
Okay, so you're talking Steiners, you're talking Muda, Pillman and Zink. I don't... Oh, man, when were they? I think 89 is when they were starting to come up. So, I mean, you could argue Pillman and Zink. Doom wasn't a tag team yet.
Nope.
Or if they were, they weren't really winning anything.
Right.
Because they had the... Oh, no, they were at Future Shock 89, but they jobbed out.
Yeah, they jobbed out, like, quickly. Like, they weren't even...
So they weren't a big deal yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so Doom doesn't make any sense to put in. Samoan SWAT team, no.
Nope.
I'm trying to think. Future Shock 89, that was Luger Flair, Sting, and Great Muta. The night they jobbed out Muta too. The tag teams were Samoan SWAT team, Doom, Road Warriors, Steiner Brothers. And out of all those, we got Flair, Sting, Luger, and the Road Warriors.
Actually, you know what? Barry Windham could be in here.
89, wasn't he in WWF? I thought he was in WWF as the Widowmaker.
I thought that was later, wasn't it?
I want to say that was around 89 when he bounced.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
I apologize. I thought Widowmaker was way later.
Arn Anderson?
Arn was in the WWE at that time because him and Tully had bounced.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Brainbusters. Duh. Yeah, he was gone. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, when you really look at things, maybe the Varsity Club wasn't a huge deal at this point. Like, maybe they could be subbed out for the Steiners, and maybe you could sub out Gilbert for Muta. But I mean, overall, I really have no problem with that roster. I think it's really cool that Eddie Gilbert got immortalized in a game. I think that's because we haven't had many figures of him. We've had plenty. Let's see. Let's go down that list again. Just going back to your roster here. We're looking at Flair, plenty of figures. Sting, Luger, Rotundo, Road Warriors. Dr. Death is one we haven't had a lot of figures of. Same for Kevin Sullivan. Steamboat, we've had a lot of figures. Rick Steiner, plenty of figures. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, barely any. Michael Hayes, not really a lot.
He's had a few.
He had a Galoob. He's had a Mattel or two.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, but it's great that we got Eddie Gilbert in a game because we haven't had a lot of figures of him. So this is great that he was in a game. So overall, you could sub in some names, but I'm happy with that roster. And it was a lot of fun to play.
One other thing I do want to point out is in the video game, all the wrestlers look like they were wearing trunks over tights.
Yeah.
That was my only little nitpick about this game. This is what probably the best wrestling game on NES. I would
say yes. This is easily my favorite wrestling game on the NES.
But all the wrestlers were wearing trunks over tights. So picture Ricky Steamboat's prototype LJN. And every wrestler was wearing that.
That's right.
So it makes me question why Boogie Woogie Man wasn't in there. Asking for a friend.
Yeah, come on, you guys. We need Boogie Woogie Man in a game.
Do we really? But that was my only little nitpick about the game. For the game at the time, it was fun. I liked how I've said it before, I liked how you were able to choose your moves. That was something that was new to us that we weren't able to do. Usually you got some preloaded moves and if you hit up on a D-pad, you're doing a drop kick. If you hit down, and it was the same thing for each wrestling game. But for this one, you actually got to choose. So
it was almost like Tecmo Bowl where you could select a play with the direction and a button.
Good point.
You could pick your move set to match that button set. So I really like that too, Jeff. Just the customization and the fact that it actually had a lot of moves you could do. I really, really enjoyed that. This game was a lot of fun. If you were to put a gun to my head and say, tell me to get one game for the Nintendo, a wrestling game, it's going to be this one every time.
So Scott, how many bits do you give it?
Again, we're going scale of 10, right?
Scale of 10. Yep.
Yeah. This one for me, and again, I'm taking Nintendo into account. It's a Nintendo game specifically for that system. I'm not holding it against any future systems that came out after it. This one for me is like a 9.3. I go high on this game. It was my favorite one.
I'm going to go 8.3. It's probably one of the best NES wrestling games there is, if not the best. I mean, obviously, a lot of people will argue pro wrestling is, and I will not combat that.
That one's fun too. Yeah.
But this one was very memorable in a good way, not a bad way like WrestleMania.
And what I loved about it too is they marketed it perfectly. You look at that box, you're like, I'm buying this game.
Oh yeah, the Road Warriors are on it.
That's all you needed. That is literally all you needed. They were the most marketable faces in WCW next to Sting, and they made the exact right call to put them on the cover to sell this game. That's how you sell 100,000 units of this game.
All right. So going through eBay auctions, the last sold cartridge was sold October 7th for $10.
That's it.
That's it. Now, the last sold box and instruction booklet and cartridge sold on September 30th for $15.01.
Wow. Honestly, dude, if I was someplace and I saw that, because we've got the cartridge still, but the box is long gone, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
If I found that for $15 at a show, I would snatch it up in a second.
Oh, wait a second. Here's one that's graded. Oh, hold on.
Oh, sealed and everything, or?
Okay, sealed. It was graded a 9. It sold for $260.55.
Wow.
WCW Wrestling Nintendo NES Oval SOQ Rev, a CIB. Goddamn acronyms. Kill me, dude. 6.7. So
Peyton would hell be laughing right now.
Complete WATA 9.0 with a 9.6 Cartman. Okay, too many.
God damn it!
Got too many goddamn acronyms, but it is a 9.0 in box and sold for $260 on August 24th, 2025.
Nah, I don't need all that, dude. If I just found a box, game, sleeve, instructions for $15, I would be all over it in a second, just for that nostalgic rush of buying that game again. Just again, so many good memories. I got it shortly after it came out. Mom had it. We were shopping at Bayfair. We went to KB Toys. And you know how they used to keep the Nintendo games right behind the cash register?
Yep.
So you'd be talking to the cashier and the games are right behind them.
Yep.
I happened to look up and see it and I was like, Mom, please. they have the rest of the NWA or the WCW game, please. Okay, fine. We'll take the WCW game. Dude, we went and got like Orange Julius's after that. And we had to stop at like one or two more stores. Right. And I was literally like wanting to just jump out of my skin to run home and play this game. I could not wait to rip that plastic off, take that game out, pop it in the Nintendo, and just go to town.
So it came out on April 1st, 1990. Were you pushing for that to be my birthday gift?
No. And that's the thing is I didn't know release dates really for video games back then.
Right.
Like I knew record and tape release dates.
Every Tuesday.
Like I could tell you when, every Tuesday I could tell you when the newest Poison and Kiss and Rat CDs were coming out. But with video games, I didn't really know. So this was one I knew it had come out because people were talking about it. But we just, again, happened to be at KB Toys and there it was behind the cash register and I lost my mind. I mean, it was the Road Warriors. And again, me in 1990, Road Warriors, I'm like, oh my God, Mom, please. It's that, like, please, I will punch this cash register person in the face if you just tell me you'll buy the game. Like, I will do anything. And she was like, okay, let's get it. I was like, Jeff will play it too. It's not just for me.
Well, just kidding. Well, it's true. No, I did play it too. So.
Yeah, when I let you.
Yeah,
it was your time in the room.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, fun memories with this game, playing it with you. There wasn't much of a learning curve. Once you chose your move set, you got to, left A and that did one move and, up B or whatever it was, did another move. And you were the one that was scheduling it when you were going through your move set before the match. It made things really easy. So fun game, 8.3.
There it is. They got extra points for the box art from me.
And that rounds out the show. By the way, next week I will be on Brian's Legendary Wrestling Figures. I will be on there and we will be grading Series 3 of the LJNs. Not grading, but we will be giving a score. Scott, I need your scores.
I will send those to you.
Thank you very much.
I have your information.
Thank you. I will be reading those on the air. I will be reading Scott's scores and I will be giving my scores as well for Series 3 of the LJN figures. Also, check out TB Toycast with Breaker and Travis. And let's go over to Budsies. Ryan Budge, Trivia with Buds. And let's see, who else we got? Scott. We got Positively Pro Wrestling Podcast in the Marbles Pod with Soda and Ethan. I actually had a question like Justin Summers style in the Marbles Pod this past week.
Oh, you did?
I did. I asked in NASCAR, speaking of video games, in NASCAR video games, it was very confusing on how to make your car super fast without having it fishtail. So like they would want you to adjust a chassis and take 3 pounds of air out of the front right tire and dude, I would get so confused that I would just leave it on the default settings. But then my car never went fast. I was always finishing like, I don't know, 18th, 19th, maybe even further back in the race. So I asked the question, how do you know which track needs this, adjustment and blah, 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 blah. So that was my question and they answered it.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Love those guys.
Yep, absolutely. So that is it for the show. Scott, I'm glad you're feeling better from food poisoning.
Yeah, it was a nice recovery.
Yes, and that also rounds out the shows for episode 507. Scott, anything else?
Stay safe, stay healthy. Fig Life since 2016. Eat Taco Bell. And happy toy hunting.
Like they need any more plugs.
And be good to each other out there.
Oh, yeah, that too. I want to thank everybody for listening to Scott's food poisoning episode. I'm actually going to name the show Food Poisoning.
Scott's Drops.
Oh, that's what I'm naming the show. Perfect.
Perfect.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Scott's Drops on episode 507. 493. to 1,000. And also, Scott, don't forget to post pictures of your new dog.
I will if I get her.
Okay. All right. We need to see this cute little thing.
Oh, I can't wait, dude. I'm so excited.
Adios.
Yeah. Fullyposeable. Let's go. Jeff and Scott, the Toon Brothers, busting out the ring. But we don't take it out the box, MOC. Happy toy hunting, we'll see you next week. We're the OGs of WFP. Fullyposeable, thank you all for listening. It ain't no storyline, real life siblings. So everybody go and do your toy spotting. #FigLife, adios from the Kings.